Welcome to paraglidingtalk.com. I'm your host, Robert Michaels, and we are going to have a great show tonight. I guarantee it. We're having all kinds of technical difficulties tonight. There's supposed to be far more people on the show tonight. Todd Scandrett is supposed to be with us. He's trying to log in. He's desperately tried to log in 15 times now, and it's not working. POC PPG is with us. Also, Mike Cotter is the guest on the show tonight. Mike Cotter, he has some trolling coming his way, I believe. So I'm just guessing if the show goes off the tracks, it's because of Mike, and I'm sorry. We're also joined by Brandon. Brandon McLeod runs the crew. I don't know if he runs the crew, but he's a part of the crew, and they also a sponsor of the show, Tri-State Skywalkers. And if you're interested in creating a club, that's the guy you want to talk to. Sure. And if you want to join the club, that's the one you're going to want to join, especially if you're in Ohio. And he sent me a shirt. He sent me some stickers and some cool stuff. So he's got some cool stuff. Go check out the description. There's a link to his channel and his Facebook page and all those good things. But welcome everyone in the chat. Welcome. Glad that you're here tonight. You are a part of the greatest paragliding talk show on Thursday nights. Welcome. Cue the round of applause again. I'm pretty excited tonight.
I want to try an experiment. Can I try an experiment?
Yeah, do it.
Hey, Google. Hey, Alexa.
Oh, that's jacked up.
I just wanted to see if it worked. Did it work?
That's so jacked up, bro.
I just want to see if it works. I
bet you a bunch of people's stuff just went bling. I love it. You know what? I was thinking about this. This is something that we're going to have to do with the show as it grows. We're going to have to get in that loop where they can just cue the whatever robot and watch the show. It's a great idea. A bunch of people are like, haha, I have headphones on. That's great. So Mike Cotter is he's an instructor at PPG. He's got some years of experience. He also runs a school, and he's an Aviator Alliance school. So you're in good hands. They have a great organization, and I love what they're doing. They've got some cool stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. Obviously, before we get into everything that we're going to get into, I want to make sure that I take care of the order of business, which is to give a shout out to my sponsors. We obviously already talked about Tri-State Skywalkers. Tri-State Skywalkers is a sponsor of the show, and I really appreciate your guys' support. They support the show financially, and they also support the show in present. The guys from the crew, again, have made it a little bit safer in our sport, and there's some camaraderie that's involved, and I think it's something that we need to talk about more often. And so I told Brandon that I would invite him on every episode, and I really like his. He was the last person that we interviewed, and so I want to make him kind of a fixture on the show, and I really appreciate him being a part of it. Also want to mention that PPG Smoke sponsored the show and donated like $10,000 worth of the smoke machines for your paramotors. And so if you want to win one of those, you can go to paraglidingtalk.com and go to the contest page and fill out the information there, and you can win one of these machines. We've already given out about 10 of them now, 9 or 10. And so we've got about 50 more to go. And if you did win one of those, I want to make sure that you promote ppgsmoke.com and say thank you to Ryan Roberts. If you're on social media, if you're on Instagram, there's a link for the show on Instagram. There's also a Facebook page that one of the guys put together there, Neil Perspective, created. And then there's some other links if you want to get tied into the show. So check those things out. And the third, and more importantly, Larry from paraorangeproducts.com supports the show. He's having technical difficulties as well, but I'm sure he'll be on here eventually. I'll send out a couple more invite tries. But paraorangeproducts.com if you're interested in getting some gear to maybe protect your gear, or if you wanted to buy some stuff, new He's selling wings. He's selling gear. He's got all kinds of cool stuff. When he first started sponsoring the show, all he had was some orange stuff sacks, and now he's got all kinds of stuff. And so if you're interested in checking out his page, he is a sponsor of the show. PureOrangeProducts.com. Check him out. And without further delay, we're also going to be doing some giveaways. And I'm not going to give anything away just yet, but we're going to give away a Tow Pro. And potentially we'll give out something else as well. Pretty excited about that. We have some secret plans for your watching pleasure. If you're watching right now, and if you're a part of the chat, you are secretly being watched. And so it's going to be a good thing tonight. All right. Mike Cotter, how in the world did you end up flying bed sheets with a lawnmower on your back?
Butt fans.
The butt fan.
Yeah. First and foremost, my partner Justin Fox is training right now down in South Carolina with one of the other groups, Skyfield. So he apologized he wasn't able to make it. And Bob, our other instructor as well, wanted to just say hello to you guys and thanks so much for what you're doing. It's an awesome show that you guys are doing and giving back. It's fantastic. So we appreciate it. I started flying butt fans after I took a tandem. My wife and I took a 10-year anniversary trip out to Sweden or Switzerland, and I saw that there were some guys landing down in the park area, and we went and talked with them. And sure enough, we signed up for the next day to take a tandem paraglide, and I literally changed on that flight. I mean, my eyes flipped back, and I said, "This is just unbelievable." So we landed.
Motor or free flight?
Free flight.
Really? Where was this?
It was just outside of Zurich. Actually, it was Grindelwald.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coastal.
So, yeah, it was cool. It was a sled ride for the most part, but it was a long, long sled ride. So, but I just absolutely fell in love with it. We landed, and I just was looking at my wife. I'm like, "Well, I'm doing that tomorrow." She goes, "That's awesome. Well, maybe I'm going to do the hang gliding." And I knew she wasn't as hooked as I was. So time goes on, and 5 years went by, and 2 power paragliders went by me in the beach on Naples in Florida. And I was just like, that's it. And I just looked at my wife. I'm like, I'm so doing that. I'm so doing it. Sure enough, 4 or 5 years go by, and some things changed with my business and freed me up with some time. And I had been researching, and I went down to Florida, and Don Jordan was my instructor. And I literally, when people say they immerse themselves into this, I didn't have a job. I immersed myself into this. And, literally, I started I got back in February after training. We had a couple months we had to wait because of the cold. And after that happened, so I had maybe a 7-month season. I had 120 hours of flying. And so it was something that I just absolutely loved. And still doing it to this day, obviously.
How many years have you been flying now?
I started in February 2015, so 4 years ago. Yeah.
And so now you've got a school. Is this in your backyard? You have a large piece of property. You go somewhere else?
Good question. We are. I live about an hour and 10 minutes away from it. I live on the eastern side of Michigan. He lives on the western side of the state. And I found it because it was middle ground between both of us. But it's an actual airport. It's a 2,000 foot northwest, east-west, north-south grass strip runway. It's literally PPG heaven. There's lavender mint fields that you're flying around. It's taken care of better than golf courses.
Yeah, I saw the pictures you sent. I love it.
Yeah. So we basically, I stumbled upon it, and sure enough, they had a house on site, and the gal that was staying there was leaving in a week. And I said, does he rent it usually? Because it was her grandfather. And she goes, yeah, he's looking to rent it from someone. I go, well, what about that hangar down there? Oh yeah, that's open too. And I'm like, I'm going to stalk this guy and find this guy. I called him up, introduced myself, told him exactly what we wanted to do. I met with him the next day, and that was it. He loves it. They absolutely love it as well. So
Who was it? Who just said that? Adventureland said, "Show us on your hand. We want to know where it is." By the way,
Yeah.
I'm a Michigander as well.
I know you are.
I was born in the Michiganders.
Yeah, man.
I'm a Michiganian. No.
I don't blame you.
Maybe just to visit. Maybe just for some flying. Man, those pictures just looked so incredible. I mean, beautiful.
Yeah, those were from Aviator came out and did a video.
Oh, they did?
On our school, yeah. And
I was going to ask.
I poached a few of those shots from their vid.
They have a good little camera setup and good editing too.
Yeah, they're dynamite. They do it well.
So yeah, you started with free flight. What do you think about free flight?
I actually really enjoyed it. That wasn't the only time I did it. In 2016, so I started power paragliding in 2015. In 2016, my wife and I took a trip to New Zealand, and I called up Sully, who runs Affinity paragliding school. He's really well known there in New Zealand, and I told him what I was wanting to do, and that I'd love to try it. And it was pretty funny. I showed up at 8 o'clock in the morning. He looked at me, threw me a wing, and said, "Come on, mate, we're going up." And I was like, "I've never free flight in my life. I've power paraglided a ton of times." He's like, "You'll get it." And I went out and did a forward, and I loved it. I actually was thermaling for probably a good half hour after the class had landed, because all they wanted to do was circle back up or pack up and head back up. And I was catching thermals off a roof of their like the restaurant and area that they had.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I loved it. It's cerebral. It's quiet. It's really I'd like to do more of it. We've got some good areas here in Michigan on the western side of the state, but hadn't had a chance.
You got the hanger, man. You can do some tows.
We do have a tow machine. Just not enough runway, basically. I mean, you got to run that thing for a mile almost to get up a few thousand feet.
How long is the runway?
2,000.
2,000. Is that not enough?
It is to basically bring somebody up to about 400 feet.
Okay.
If you're really pushing it.
Right.
The tow machine we have, what we do for students is we do a turn back on it. So we'll put out a truck and stationary, wrap the line around them. So they're starting off with us and then going up, and so we're cutting the line in half. But really, the way that tow machine is designed to do it is that you drive down a road, an empty road, as far as you can go and wheel out the line, and then you'd get a real good tow.
Right.
But finding a road without power lines around it or something like that is kind of a challenging thing to do.
Right. I bet you probably got to go pretty far out of town.
Yeah, exactly. But it's doable.
Well, so you got into paramotoring. What was your first what was your first thing that caught your attention with paramotoring? And I guess what I'm saying is there's a lot of guys that are on the sidelines that are wanting to get involved, and they're wanting to get up in the air, and they haven't yet. And some guys are timid, or they're what do you got for those new guys? What really stood out in the very beginning?
Well, they should be timid. If they're not, I'm sending them home. For me, it was the actual accessibility of it. It was right there within reach at all times. I mean, 3, 4 days, 5 days. You put in some dedicated work, and you're flying. And having that ability to accomplish that goal is huge. It really is. For students, though, just to kind of wet their beaks a little bit, is we build everything on a process. Our school is anywhere from 7 to 10 days. And until they accomplish the tasks that we're working on, we won't move on to another one. So each, for example, when they're out kiting, when we see that they're starting to do reverses, and we start to see that they're proficiently moving along together kind of at the same pace, and now they're walking downwind with the wing still in up, or being able to keep it up. And then we move them into a motor sim, they accomplish that. So we lay out each one of these tasks and let them know that, hey, we got to accomplish this before that we can move on to another one. Because if you don't, I'm sorry, we can't go forward until you do. And I've had to tell a couple of guys that at times that, you got to get this. You got to get this. If not, I can't move on to the next step. I said, but I encourage them to do that. But yeah, so we make sure that they're clearly understanding and proficient at each step as they go along. So by the time they're ready to fly, it's pretty simple.
What's the most dangerous thing about what we're doing?
I don't know about you because you're free flying, but that spinning blade behind you is a nerve-wracking thing. It scares the students. It scares us as instructors, just because sometimes they'll get themselves off course. Fortunately for us, we had one guy break a prop last year. That's it. And so we take them through. We have got the time. We've got we structure our classes that time gives us the ability to make those students proficient so that we're not worried about them breaking and stuff. Sure, there's some butt slides here and there, but for the most part, it's pretty good. But I think the towing aspect of it at times is the kind of the scary thing for an instructor, just because you want to. This is the first time because this is the first time they're running up into the sky.
Right.
And they're up there by themselves. Now, Justin runs the throttle on it, and he's become very, very good with it. So he has a very intuitive look at if that student's starting to veer off course, which is possible lockout with it. He's already off the power before that could even happen. So, and then I'm in their ear telling them, to the corrections that we're trying to see that they can make, because that's part of the game, is that we want to see them have a few failures and then be able to overcome those. But I would say towing is probably the biggest challenge and reward at that point in time of the game. So.
What's next? A lot of guys come in to watch this show and they're trying to get something out of it. What do you think the most dangerous thing about our sport is that you can say, you know what, this is the one thing that you need to be careful of? I don't care if you're brand new or if you've been flying for 25 years. What's the most dangerous thing? You're an instructor. I'm putting you on the hot seat.
Yeah, no worries. I'll answer it. It's unfortunate, but it's probably that they're not getting the training that they should have. They don't know what they don't know. And, it's really, we see all these blogs now in Facebook and stuff like that people are looking at us going, you're ridiculous. You're making so much money, whatever it is, $3,500 for a student. That's crazy. What they don't realize is we're there on Friday night. Students show up on Saturday morning. We don't leave there. We live there 24 hours a day. We're with our students from 6 o'clock in the morning till sun goes down, and then we're debriefing them. And it starts up again. We're putting in, 15, 16 hours a day for 8, 9, 10 days at a time. And you're going to tell me that 300 hours being paid $3,500 and then splitting it amongst 3 instructors is making a lot of money? Yeah, don't even try. Because what we're doing is we're giving these students the proper attention and what they deserve, basically. The folks that are out there, unfortunately, doing it part-time for them, they're doing a disservice. I'd rather see that instructor schools raise their rate and do it right than, not take care of those students for them. So I answered it.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that, you come into the sport and you see something on YouTube. You say, you know what, man, that looks so easy. I can do that. And then you start down a path where you say, well, I'm going to do this. And you look in your wallet and you got no money. And then you start just searching, well, what can I do now to get to my goal later? And so the very beginning, and this is so many people, I get text messages and calls. I mean, it's never ending. And for all the guys that call and all the guys that are watching right now that have reached out to me, you're doing the right thing by reaching out and searching and being hungry to find and learn stuff. And that's a big reason why I started this show, was because I wanted a place for people to come and learn stuff that's going to save their life, because this is not, you're not trying to learn how to snowboard where you're going to slide in the snow. If you slide, you chop a hand off.
Yep.
You end up, taking a header from 200 or 300 feet. You're done. It's game over. It's aviation. Yep. But because it looks so simple and it's so slow paced and it's not complicated, I put my stuff in a backpack. My airplane goes on my back and I hike up a hill. I mean, it looks like this is, and that's the deception. What do you tell the guys that are heading down? Because notoriously, they're going to head down that road anyways. What do you tell those guys?
I actually had a phone call just the other day with a gentleman that called me up and wanted to train, and he did a good job of trying to talk me into a couple of day, 2 days, weekend type thing. And I just told him, I said, you know what? Don't rush into this. Do it when you can have some time. And you're really just kind of, you're shorting yourself as far as getting the right training. And if you can't have the time to dedicate towards learning how to fly, then you need to relook at where the priorities are for it. So people are going to rush into it, though. It's just the nature of the beast. As they see it, they think it's easy and it looks easy. And it's funny. Why don't we do some polls on what it costs people breaking gear, with self-training compared to what the cost is of training. We broke one prop last year. I think it was 30 some odd students.
That says a lot about your school, by the way. I really like that. Taking the time to kite.
Yep.
Taking the time to kite is probably the most critical. I mean, from what I'm gathering, just in 2 years worth of heavily obsessing on the sport, oscillations are the most dangerous when it comes to paramotoring. Launching in an oscillation will send you into a very bad place, which, by the way, Mike Cotter was very humble to send a video, and we're going to share that video right now.
So can I say something about it first?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this was, I trained in February, got back home, and the motor sat there in my foyer for, I think it was about a month and a half because the weather was awful. Well, what Brandon was talking last week about partnering up and creating a club and had somebody to go to, I had a gentleman, Tom Zoner, that was kind of my mentor as well, but he was working, so I was by myself. And so I went out there and thought I could do it, and I struggled. The video that I sent over here is condensed in a big way. I was fussing and fooling, and you'll see what happens. I'm putting myself out there. Enjoy.
This is fantastic. Oh, you get back here. All right, here we go, folks. I don't think you can hear any sound.
Oh, it's the best part.
No. So right here, he's just kind of revving the engine very lightly. I assume you already did a run up and all that stuff, so you're warmed up and you're just kind of feeling your way. Half an hour.
Yeah, I was sitting there for a half hour.
Straightening lines, making sure the A's are on top, checking wind direction, looking at the watch. And then you hear him just kind of rev it just a little bit, and you can tell he's getting ready to let it rip. And here we go. So, sounds like he just touched the power. Okay, now just a little bit more power, but he let off, gave it some gas, let off, and
you missed the cord. It's all good.
Glad I have my GoPro.
Yeah, I'm so glad, by the way, that you recorded that. That is one of the things that I think people they try to only show their best.
Yeah.
And let me encourage you, post your failures, because you're going to learn a bunch of stuff. I learned a ton of stuff. And that is one thing about this sport. It will humble you. What'd you take away from that, Mike?
A ton, actually. It was actually what happened there, quite frankly, is I was up in the air. I was flying, and I let my brakes up a little bit so it surged, and I lost the lift on it. But I was out there, and I turned around, an hour later, and went at it again, and I flew. The thing is, I had a month and a half off from the time that I trained to the time I came home and my motors were there. My skills diminished. The thing too is I didn't kite like I should have. I should have been out there kiting, not flying, to get that skill back. So just rushing it.
Here's a question, Mike. So basically, would you agree with for as far as the training goes, it's a part of the journey. You don't learn everything in one day, and there's like a line of the good sweet spot, where you're learning, you're growing a little bit, you're feeling it, you're getting better with your glider, it better, it like your right hand. You get a left hand, now you're going up a little bit more, and then you're just plateaued, at where you're doing wing overs, you're doing all kinds of stuff, heelys and things like that. You're really, really experienced. Do you think maybe perhaps the people coming in would adhere more to that's a part of the journey, guys? This is a part of the fun, dragging it out, enjoy those little morsels.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely plateaus of the sport, and they're critical plateaus because they're basically I think it was at the very first 5 hours, you're at a very high risk of having an accident. And then after that, it goes to like 50 hours. Once you have 50 hours, you're becoming a little more proficient. You're testing yourself a little bit more. That's when you could have an accident, real high rate. And then when you're up at 150 hours, that's when you can have a real bad accident too. So now you're doing the more challenging maneuvers, and you really don't know how to manage that energy at that time, because it's pretty damn easy to pull right or left, and start doing a wing over. Yeah. I'm guilty of it.
When I caught this video and I saw the comments, you gave it some throttle, then you let it go. Gave it some throttle, then let it go. And what happens with that is you got some torque stuff going on. If you just hit the gas and you compensate with the little brake, you might be able to make that work. But even an expert would have a really hard time launching and hitting the gas, let it go, hit the gas, let it go, and be running and managing the wing all at the same time. I mean, if you asked a pro, okay, let me do the gas for you with a remote control, and you just went when they're running, no way they're going to launch. And yet here we are, new, and I did the same thing. In my very first flight here at the park, same thing. I was like, whoa, wait a second. And I remember Russman, my instructor, he's like, listen, when it's time, power on, power. He wanted full power, and I was flying top 80, but it was exactly. I felt the torque, I felt it turn, do its thing, and I can't imagine how hard it would be to launch. Then the oscillation kicks in, and then you're not sure if you actually are coming off the ground or going down, because you don't know what your wing's doing at that point of being such a new person to the sport. My instructor said you need to learn to speak Winglish. Know what the wing is telling you.
It's amazing how many people speak English.
Yeah,
I'm a kiter. I love kiting. I do it as much as I possibly can because I like it.
Yeah, me too.
And I'll tell you, the ones that don't, those are the ones kind of having the hard time failing launches here and there.
And that's the thing, about the journey. The kiting is a part of the story. Like for new pilots, I think a lot of times the guys think of like, oh, I want to be Tucker Gott flying in the air. You know what I mean? The end result, they're not thinking of the enjoyment of that journey of learning and grasping and humbling and relearning. And yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's a critical thing to know what your wing is doing without looking. And even still today, I still take a glance up there, but what are you gonna look at? What are you gonna do?
Well, we we video every one of our students through the towing process and the cutting process, and obviously the launch and landing, and we critique it pretty aggressively on the debriefs so that they know what they're doing by visually seeing it, and it makes a difference. That's for sure.
That is for sure. We're at the half-hour mark. I want to.
But it is a process. Everything is a process.
Go ahead. I think we had a little delay there. I cut you off.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So we're at the half-hour mark, and I want to just give a quick shout out to the sponsors. Thank you, Tri-State Skywalkers, Brandon. I appreciate you and your investment in the show. Follow his link to his Facebook. And if you're interested in getting involved in club, or maybe you're by yourself somewhere and you want to create a club, be a great idea to reach out to him. He's got a successful thing going, and it's a great opportunity to start something fantastic. Go check out Tri-State Skywalker's channel on Facebook. I think Brandon also has a YouTube channel, and I'm not sure if I put that in this description, but in the show description where he was on the show last week, you can go check out that link is in the description on that show, Brandon McLeod. Also, the show is sponsored by Paraorange Products. Go to paraorangeproducts.com if you're interested in buying some gear for paramotoring, paragliding, all kinds of good stuff on the website. You can buy gear, you can buy everything now, from what I understand. And so go check out their website. There's links in the description for his website as well. The show is also sponsored by PPG Smoke. .com. PPG Smoke is the one that donated all these smoke machines. So if you're flying around, or if your neighbors are flying over your house, and it's not crop dusting, and it's not what do they call that?
Chemtrails.
Chemtrails. It's not chemtrails. It's just baby oil. And so you got to 110. They're watching. The people. Those are 111. The people are watching. We're breaking new records tonight, folks. Mike's holding up the trophy because he said if he got more than 110, he won. So he did. He crossed 111 for just a second there. So it was probably Eric logged in and logged out. He was like, whoa. Yep, 111. Wow. Crazy. Really appreciate everybody watching, by the way. This show originally was created, and I created a little Patreon to support the show, crowdfunding or whatever. There's guys that have way crappier shows than this that are getting paid. And so if you're interested in investing in a cool sport, support the show financially on Patreon or PayPal, and I'll appreciate that. And so will my wife and children. And so please do that. You can do that on the website. There's links all over the place. And if you're really interested in supporting the show, maybe you can't do it financially, but you want to support maybe through becoming a moderator or something like that, reach out to me, and we'll make something happen. So I really appreciate everybody chiming in and connecting. Want to do a giveaway tonight. And we decided that we were going to do something a little bit different on this giveaway. We're going to give away the last Tow Pro. Johnny Wisconsin was gracious enough to make these. Johnny hooked it up. Johnny, I need some more. I don't know how we're gonna get them. I need some more. I'm
going to throw another spin on this one here, if I'm allowed here, Robert.
Yeah.
I'm just a moderator here.
Yeah.
Now, I was approached a task.
Yeah.
And this task is not exactly the most simplest, with our attention spans being what it is.
Oh no!
But I have a nice little twist on this, and I think it will be great. So Here we go.
Okay.
Now what we're doing differently is the most creative from this point back to the beginning of the show was anything that was the most creatively typed in thing. Okay, that most zing,
Okay.
So this is kind of a toss up between three people. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to let the chat tell me which one the better one is. So
the better comment.
The better comment. So we're going to do the first one. I'm going to call number 1. Okay.
Okay.
The second one I'm going to call number 2, and the third one I'm going to call number 3. All right. So this is what. I know this is very complicated. I put a lot of effort into this, guys. I was writing everything down while I was thinking about this. Okay, so we've got this comment here. Number 1 is David 65702.
Oh yeah, I love David.
Said, "Hey, it's the tree kisser." LOL. Okay, that was pretty creative. All right.
Wait, the tree kisser. Who is he referring to?
I'm not really sure, but I just thought, you
right.
know what, for just a comment out in the bang, tree kisser. That's creative. Okay.
That is
So
creative,
that's
okay.
number 1. Number
Okay.
2 is from Spielberg saying, "I want to be like Dell." I couldn't pass that up. That was pretty creative.
All right. What was his name again? Spielberg?
Spielberg. Yep. And
Okay.
number 3 is Yankee SC1 with
Oh,
how
okay.
many babies does it take to make 20 ounces of baby oil? As you can see, they're all pretty close. You know what I'm saying? They're pretty comical. So I'll go over them one more time. Number 1 is, "Hey, it's the tree kisser." So you just type in the number on the chat, like number 1. Okay, if you like number 1. So it's, "Hey, it's the tree kisser." Number 1.
Right.
Number 2, "I want to be like Dell." And number 3, how many? What was it? 20. I gotta find it again. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. It's 3. They're going crazy for 3. How
For
many
3,
babies? How many babies?
How many babies makes to make 20 ounces of baby oil?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's 3.
Okay.
Unanimous.
Well,
I want to
congratulations.
be. Oh, Nico said he wants to be like Dell. 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 3. Wow. Yeah, no, it's 3. It's 3 for sure.
Oh, but here's the catch. You have to hit that like button in order for it to count.
Craig C. You rebel. He said 4. Craig C. said 4. Okay, congratulations, Yankee and SC1. You are the winner chicken dinner of a Tow Pro. Congratulations. I'll need your information, so reach out to me or text me. I think you already have my number. Text me with your address, and I'm going to send you. That is fantastic. You know what? Let's give away a sticker. I made a Paragliding Talk sticker. Paragliding Talk sticker. We'll give that to second place, which was the tree kisser, I believe. Was it 1?
No,
I can go back.
It was 3 and 2.
3 and 2.
Yeah, and 2 is, "I want to be like Dell."
Okay. Gosh, man, now I need to make another sticker.
See, now we're
wanna
blowing
give
up
them
the
both
chat
a
like
winner.
crazy.
I know, I can't even read it. That's so awesome. Okay. So Spielberg, I need you to reach out to me Give me your email. Oh, also please go to the Instagram for the page and follow the show on the Instagram. I'm trying to do some more stuff with that, and I'm going to start promoting stuff on there to make it a little bit easier, because not everybody catches the YouTube commercials, and I'm trying to be cutting edge. Okay. I'm trying to be as good as Anthony Vella.
See, now these guys don't know what's going on. Well, now that they know what's going on, they're just coming up with
Look, I
creative.
want a sticker.
I want to kick owls and fly like Dell,
Yeah.
He's flying around with a sign with the number 1 YouTube
I saw that.
in the world. That's gonna blow him up.
Yeah, that's funny because that looked like it was super fun. Okay, David, Spielberg, and Yankee and SC1. I need your information. And Yankee, you won the Tow Pro. Spielberg and David, you're going to get a sticker. So I need you to reach out to me. Congratulations, you winners. So let's continue the conversation about flying safe. And maybe tell me about one of your adventures.
Adventures. Well, we have a Michigan migration each year, and typically we pack up 10 guys in 2 campers. We bring the travel trailers behind us full of gear and head out west, or wherever the weather's good. I wasn't able to make last year's trip, but the year prior to that, we were going down to Florida up until Hurricane Maria made her way in, and we ended up going to Utah. and flying Moab for a long time. So the Michigan Powered Paragliding group, or the people that fly there, it's such a good, solid group of people. They, Phil Atkinson, Tom Zoner, Mark Dessick, they've been doing this for 20 years, flying DK Whispers. So there's history in the community, and it's just been blowing up for literally the last 4 years that I've been there. I think I was number 90 on the Facebook group page, and now there's 480. It's amazing. And the pilots that are there, they help each other out. They're respectful of each other, and we really do build a community. And I think that's why our growth has been the way it is. I think we're number 2 in the country right now as far as median population that are PPG pilots.
Wow.
It's only getting bigger. Half of our classes already are all Michigan people for next year. But
Michiganders.
yeah, so we do quite a bit of ventures. I flew across the state of Michigan with a few guys last year, and Gene Pernick was the only one who made it. We had some motor issues, but so we're doing those kind of things. I got a couple of trips already planned for as soon as the weather gets better, and just kind of long distance type flights. But flying in a straight line for 10 hours is a little bit of a challenge, but when you accomplish it and you set it out and you work the airspace and you work the plan, it is rewarding. It makes you realize that you can go anywhere you want to go with these things.
10 hours is a long time to be in the air.
Well, obviously it's not 10, but the
Right.
day is 10.
Right.
So yeah.
When you talk about
Go ahead.
long distance flying, camping, and what do you think about that stuff?
I think it's amazing.
Fly camping. I'm talking about just having gear with you, and that's what you're going to take with you, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian Lasik, I think I'm butchering the name, and I apologize for that, but he is out in the Utah area, and he would do these bivouacs at the top of the buttes and land there. And I mean, that was just amazing. And when you think about that, landing on a 2,000-foot butte, camping overnight, and then just launching off of it, that's some serious, overnight type stuff. But
okay,
I'm
so
50 years old. I like a comfortable bed.
yeah, I'm the same way. When I want to do something here, and maybe we can start something in motion. The French have created the term vol biv, and I call it fly camping.
Yeah,
because you fly and you camp. Is that? Can I just say fly camping, or do I have to say vol biv? So
I'd say
if you tell a free flight guy, I want to do some fly camping, they always parachute in and interrupt you. Halt! You call it vol biv. You're like, oh, and then I would forget half the time what it's actually called. So I think we should call it fly camping.
Yeah, flight camping. Some people I've heard it called bivouac.
I've heard paracamping.
Bivouac, yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, I think paracamping is easier to remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe some guys want to get some training. There's a bunch of guys from Michigan that are watching the show. How do they get signed up with you, and what are your classes looking like?
Yeah, so there's a number of ways you can do it. There's a Facebook page that's the best way to get in touch with us. I'm under Fly My PPG. My phone number's there. Just give me a call. We can talk you through it. It's all the classes are on the events page that's there, and I update them as far as what classes are available and which ones are full. But right now, the end of June is available. Matter of fact, that brings me into Todd, and I appreciate him coming on here. Todd's going to be bringing one of the vets out to Fly My PPG June 22nd class. And it's such an honor for us to be able to give back to the community. We always hear people talk about, be an ambassador of the sport, do something for it. And I love the idea of what Todd's done and what he's doing with these vets and the disabled vets. And for us to be able to help out in just a little bit, I mean, we're so excited and can't wait for it. So, yeah, maybe talk a little bit, Todd, about coming on out to Fly My.
Okay, yeah. This is a great opportunity for us because one of the things that I've talked about on the show before is how we really want to expand our outreach to the rest of the paramotor community. We've been very fortunate to train with Aviator PPG a number of times, Josh Bowden in Nebraska, Eric DeFore down in Florida, and Mike and Justin, they got in touch with me. We were actually down at Aviator PPG in Florida, had a great time together, and they were like, hey, listen, we really want to help with what you're doing, want to give back. And they were gracious enough. They're actually sponsoring that training slot, which is fantastic for us, again, because cost is very prohibitive for us. And for them to step up the way they did is absolutely fantastic. The candidate that we've identified is Matthew Pennington. He's a single leg amputee, lives in Bangor, Maine. And so we've contacted him. Pretty much we're just waiting to make travel arrangements. Going to bring him from Bangor, Maine to fly my PPG. And Mike was talking about the Michigan community and, you know, the history that they have. I have such a tremendous amount of respect for those guys that fly up there now, because we were approached by some other individuals that fly up around Michigan area, and they asked if they could go ahead and raise the additional funds that Resurgence would require to actually cover those travel costs and some of the other additional costs. And so it's really amazing because this candidate, he's being solely supported by that Michigan PPG community. And I think it's really neat what that group of people are doing. You know, they came together, they said, hey, this is something we really want to do. Mike and Justin stepped up to provide the class space. And then it's the other Michigan flyers that have gotten together and, you know, they basically provided that funding. And it's great because it enables us to take our resources and redirect them other places. So we're still able to impact, you know, more veterans through this, which we're trying to schedule a veteran to train at Lone Star Paramotor down in San Antonio, Texas with Parker and Ron Turan. And we're hoping to do that here in the next few days to get that locked in. And so it's just really amazing what the community as a whole has done, you know, and I'm looking at Brandon's face right now and what he's done stepping up, and Mike Fogel. I mean, it's really amazing. And I really appreciate how the community itself is embracing our mission. And I can tell you, if you guys, we're still working on getting the final edit of our last candidate done. It's not really going to be a YouTube video geared towards the paramotor community. It's going to be more geared towards future donors, and it's going to be basically a marketing video for us to take to future donors and other organizations to kind of give them an idea of what this is about. But you know, if you watched Cotter's video about the the single leg amputees, that, you know, there were two of them in aviators class. You know, we were sponsoring one of them, Sean Michael Horn. It's so encouraging, and it's invigorating, really. You know, just being in their presence and seeing what they're able to do and what they're able to overcome, and how accessible the sport is. It's just amazing, and I really appreciate everybody stepping up and helping out because it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, man, I want to do all I can to help you. I'll always be there to support you too, Todd. So I believe in your mission 150%.
Well, thank you much, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yep.
At the very least, we want to do one a day or one a year, or at the very least. But
which is awesome.
Yeah, I gotta really. They don't want me to call them out, but I'm gonna call them out and thank them. They did this as a surprise to me too. They told me when I was on a trip with Terry Williamson in Florida. He said, "Yeah, I'm gonna raise some money for this and give it over to Resurgence." I'm like, "Really?" And he goes, "I'm gonna make some calls." And he called up Jack Rathburn, who donated, and I don't know exactly who else yet did. I know that Steve Kane was probably involved in that as well, and you know, just an amazing thing. And like I said, we'd like to be able to do it every year if we could.
So if you're watching this show, and by the way, and you want to support it, there was a couple people that asked. You can go to resurgencepppg.com, and there's a way that you can support that group. He's a 501c3, so you're tax deductible. And so if you're looking to either give Uncle Sam some money or a really good cause some money, here's your chance. And I know it's the tax season is upon us, so it's a good thing that you can do. And something I got such good feelings when I saw that dude, the single amputee guy, tearing it up. He looked like a champ.
Oh yeah, he was amazing. He truly was amazing. And right now we're in the situation where he's trying to purchase some gear now, which that's one of our shortcomings as an organization is we don't have the finances to provide gear as well.
Right.
And so we're trying to try to figure out how we can get this guy in some equipment. We've got another alum that we've trained that we're trying to work on figuring out how we can get him equipment. So that's like the next big hurdle for us to figure out how we can do it is once they finish their training, how they can stay in the community. But everybody that we've trained so far, they've all been so jazzed and so excited. They've either bought their own equipment or they're scrounging equipment from other people that they're flying with. But it's so exciting to see somebody go with a single leg amputation and get excited about the sport and love the flying. And the best part is his wife is an Apache attack helicopter pilot.
Wow.
And so he's like, this is absolutely awesome. And he's bragging to her about it. So that's awesome.
She's not the only one flying in the family now.
Exactly. And he's working on his private pilot's license. He's wanting to get a commercial rating.
There's all his money.
Yeah, well, exactly. But all of a sudden this has completely diverted all his attention, and he just wants to get in the air and just keep flying paramotors now.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to see him show up in the chat here and start putting some videos on YouTube with him flying around. What's his name again?
Sean Michael Horn.
Sean Michael, that's right. Sean Michael Horn. I got to remember that. I can remember Sean Michael.
He's been in the chat a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Michael has. But Sean Michael Horn was actually our candidate that we were providing sponsorship for. And Craig Taylor was the other single leg amputee. And he was the one that actually provided the money for the training slot. So Craig Taylor and Resurgence, did kind of a co-sponsorship for Sean Michael Horn. And again, Craig Taylor realized that, this was something he wanted to get into. He wasn't a veteran or anything, but he saw what our mission was and what we were doing. And he said, I want to help sponsor that slot, but I want it to be a single leg amputee. And we were able to make it happen. And,
that's so cool, man.
Yeah, luckily, we were working those details out when I had met Mike and Justin Fox. And it was kind of like, hey, I've got another candidate that's an amputee. Would you guys be willing to train him? And they were like, absolutely, yes. Because it is interesting. You can't just take every individual and throw them to an instructor, because there might be a situation that instructor doesn't have the confidence in themselves or the abilities to meet those training needs. And Mike and Justin were like, absolutely, man, we want to be a part of it. And I'm so grateful for them and what they're doing. And I'm looking so forward to getting up to Michigan and flying around those mint and lavender fields myself.
Yeah.
We're the ones winning on this one, bud. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting up there, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, man, of course.
Ripman Riding asked what episode this is. This is episode 62. 62.
The one with the most attendance.
So far, what are we at right now?
More likes.
111.
We're at more likes until there's as many likes as there is people in here.
111. That is amazing. I'm dumbfounded. I love it. I love it. Go to these guys' websites and say hi. Connect on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is that you use. And if you don't know how to get a hold of these guys, you can always reach out to me. And you can do that through the paraglidingtalk.com. There's all kinds of good stuff on there. By the way, I've created a couple little sections on the website maybe you haven't seen. Go check out the section. It's the supporters section. And if you've supported the show and in any way, shape, or form, I've put your information and your actual gift on the support page. And so if you're a Patreon supporter and you support every month, you're kind of at the top of the list, and your name and a little picture, your icon is on there. Don't worry, it's no personal information. Just I appreciate your support, and so you got your own section on the website. And eventually, the hope is that we can do some more stuff for you guys. And so maybe you're interested in supporting the show, and you can only do $1 or something like that. Do it. For the price of a cup of coffee, you can learn something that might save your life, keep you safe, or whatever, or somebody else that's watching. And it's interesting how many people say, hey, I don't always get to watch the show, but they'll tell other people, hey, go watch paraglidingtalk.com because you can learn some stuff. And that's what I wanted it to be. Pretty awesome little thing. So go to paraglidingtalk.com. I'm pretty stoked for what you guys are doing over there in Michigan. How does that work with the Alliance to become an Alliance school? Do you have to, I'm just going to be frank. Do you have to pay to become an Alliance member, or do they pay you, or?
Of course they pay me.
That is fantastic. They send you a shirt.
I'll tell you what, the process is basically is getting a relationship going with the guys. Eric and I met in 2015 at what was it, Indy Air Hogs, and got talking. And I was looking at becoming an instructor, but I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to do it. And so I reached out to him, and we talked a little bit. I'm not going to get into this, but I had a setback, and I was going to become basically, they weren't calling it an Alliance program there, but they were partnering up with different schools. And the setback put me back for about 6 months. And so I ran into him at Palm Bay, and I said, hey, I'm back and I want to fly and I want to teach. And my partner, Justin Fox, is excited too. And he said, come over to Lake Wales after the fly-in. I said, well, I got to go home. He's like, no, you can come for a day. I'm like, okay, I'll come. And he and I and Travis sat down and kind of mapped out what it would look like as an Alliance program. And we left, and we basically were thinking, is this right for us? And they were thinking, is that right for us? And we got back in contact, and I said, what's the process? And he said, well, come on down for the full class and stay with us, and you guys kind of be observing instructors. And we did. And what they did there blew me away. Literally blew me away the Friday or the Sunday night when I met them. But those guys were taking these students out, and it'd be 9, 10 o'clock at night, and the sun was down, and they're debriefing, and they're up first thing in the morning, getting them going through the process, and the way that they structure that and the knowledge that those students get, I was just blown away. And so was Justin after we left there. And we said, we can't do this by ourselves. I mean, we're not ready for it yet. And we had hired John Isley to come out and help us out. He was one of their training instructors. And so he came out and worked with us to kind of consult with us to become really, quite frankly, the instructors that we needed to become. And so it's been a win-win situation. There's a referral fee. Aviator PPG, if you don't think that they're blowing up this sport, then you're just not looking. They have done this in such a professional manner. By partnering up with the right people and doing things such as the Paradigm Show. 500,000 people have eyes on it. Working with Woody, had 1 million subscribers for his gamer tag. And then, Tucker came along, and Tucker wasn't probably the one that started this revelation. It was really the fact that it was all perfectly a storm at once. The visualize on Paradigm, the 1 million followers from Woody, and then Tucker blew up, and then it was just on from there. And we all kind of saw it happening in the way it was going to grow, and it's not stopping. It's not stopping. It's not slowing down. That's for sure.
Yeah, no joke.
Just got to keep it safe.
Yeah. Yep, that is one of the topics we'll probably be talking about in the next couple of shows, talking about organization, talking about site preservation. And for all the free flight guys that watch the show, I really appreciate you hanging out, even if you don't have a paramotor. And we're going to be having some free flight guys on the show very soon. If you're interested in finding some of the previous episodes, there's some incredible shows on in the history. Obviously we're on episode 62, but there's all kinds of episodes where we talked about free flight in the past. I'm working diligently to try to make the show available on iTunes. Okay, so I literally took and Ryan Roberts literally took every show up to like 57 or something like that and put it on iTunes, and I blew it because I didn't put the right picture on the shows. And then I got a letter from iTunes because they loaded it up and it was fine for like a day, and then they took it down. And the reason why is because they don't want you putting numbers, and then the picture, the little thumbnail has to be a certain size. But anyways, very soon you're going to have availability to listen to the show as maybe on a podcast. And then right now you can actually listen to it on SoundCloud, and I'll put a link for that eventually in the description. But if you're interested in just listening, maybe you don't have the time to watch every episode. But anyways, just wanted to throw that in there. So that's coming very soon. And for all the guys that won, congratulations. Don't forget to send me your details, and then follow on Instagram, follow Paragliding Talk on Instagram. It's Paragliding Talk, and then it says Robert Michaels. So it's the same thing. You should be able to find. I noticed a couple people. I saw Stan jumped on board on Instagram, and then a couple other guys, I think so too. Carl earlier, he jumped on. And so thank you so much. Mike, I really appreciate you coming on the show.
No, thank you.
And if you would, I would love to have you come back again. We'll do it again sometime. Would you be interested in coming on?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can I bring Justin and Bob?
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
All right. I'd love to. Thank you. You guys are doing a great thing.
We'll have an after show here. Really appreciate everybody in the chat. We broke another record tonight, folks. Looks like we had 118 at one point. So congratulations. Where's your trophy at, Mike?
Right here.
Yeah, you got to hold up your trophy. There's the trophy. Paragliding.com. Congratulations. You win the trophy. Maybe I need to get some trophies.
Yeah.
So without anything else, really appreciate you guys. Resurgence PPG, don't forget to go check them out. Somebody in the chat said that we should all buy shirts and support them. You can buy shirts on Resurgence website. So go check out resurgenceppg.com and support what he's doing, and support the Stars and Stripes. You know what I'm saying? America.
Thank you much. Thanks,
America.
Robert.
Thanks for coming on, Todd. I appreciate you guys. Okay, well, we're going to have an after show. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. If I don't see you in there, I'll see you on there.
Chat's asking about the smoke machine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the chat's been blowing up about that, man.
Machine.
Smoke machine.
You know, we could keep this in suspense until, the middle of next show.
Yeah, no way.
And if they like it, if
There'd
there's
be
as many likes in the watching now section for views, then we'll announce it on time.
Yeah, that's a great thing. These guys can like your page. That's all they have to do, and we'll give them a smoke machine.
Yeah.
Support it.
The winner of the PPG Smoke.com smoke machine, Rick Davies. Congratulations, Rick Davies. You are the winner.
Awesome.
I didn't see a Rick Davies in the chat, but I'm sure
That's PPG
somebody.
Gorilla.
What?
That's PPG Gorilla, I believe.
Is it really?
Yep.
Wait a second. Can he even use that on a trike?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay. Rick Davies, congratulations. Wait a second. That's his real name? I thought his name was Gorilla.
Yeah, he's Gorilla.
Yeah.
He's not Rick.
Rick Davies. That must be a different guy. Rick Davies, congratulations. Send me your details. Actually, I already have your details. I'll send you my details. And we're going to send that out very soon. You should see a text message coming from me very soon. Congratulations, Rick. Thank you for watching this show, and also congratulations on getting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, PPG. If you're first time watching this show, thank you for putting up with my shenanigans. We're working on the show as we go.
You know what's funny? I'm sorry to interrupt, Robert, but you know what's really funny is Gorilla just got done getting a new trike.
He did, yeah.
So it's all well. No, this thing is so clean. You could see your face in it, but just by looking at it.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait a second. There is a catch, folks. If you have a warranty on your motor and you drill a hole in the exhaust, you could violate the warranty. Yeah.
So think about that, Gorilla, before you take
he doesn't care. He'll do it.
Cat.
He would buy a new exhaust kit and just be like, yeah, something. I don't know what happened with that. Congratulations, Rick Davies. Okay, guys, thanks again. Really appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one. Coming soon. Paragliding Talk episode 63. You'll find out who it is by checking out paraglidingtalk.com. Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys. We'll talk to you soon.